Today's Namaste Yoga is on the fifth limb of yoga, Pratyahara, the gateway to joy and grace. Hi, I'm Dr. Melissa West, and welcome to episode 228 of Namaste Yoga. We've got the beautiful British Columbia in our background, the mountains and the Straits of St. Juan behind me, and we thought we would share that with you today. For our introduction, I want to start by thank you Squeezed Yoga Clothing for my clothes today. I wanted to share with you my scarf I'm wearing. Ooh, look at that. It's blowing in the wind. We're sharing the beautiful mantra Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu flowing in the wind today. So that's what's printed on this scarf. And I'm wearing a long sleeve bamboo long sleeve and it's got a little Om on it here. And then I'm wearing the brand new capri leggings with the triple goddess sign on it today as well. And I will thank Dusky Leaf for my props as well, which I haven't got set up yet, but you'll see a little bit later. You're going to need your yoga blanket today, yoga mat, and you're going to need an eye pillow today if you have one. So you can get that all set up. And also I have a testimonial for you today. And this testimonial is from Cheryl. And Cheryl says, "Hi Melissa, I have been trying to get back into yoga via your videos. I think you are marvelous. Thank you. I was diagnosed with MS in 2001 and I had a bad flare-up in the fall of 2012. And by spring of 2013, I could no longer work, but I worked on becoming mobile again because of major balance issues. With the help of my partner, I am much more mobile now with the help of a cane or a walker. I had lost much confidence in what I could do on my own. I did your beginner episode 170 on strength today. Well, did my best, and it was as if it came to me at just the right time. For I am traveling to the East Coast this week for my daughter's graduation and to see my girls and grandkids. And it will be the first time I have traveled alone in 2 years and have been very nervous about it. So this episode will help me remember that I am a strong woman, even if my physical self might be somewhat weak now, and that I can do this. Yay! So thank you for your presence. I want to become a paid member. So I will be thankful for the free episodes that you offer. Thank you so much. Namaste, Cheryl." So just a quick announcement about the membership site that Cheryl mentioned. We are going to be doing weekly meetups for our members over the next few weeks through May and June. We posted those on the membership site, and there's an email that went out about that in my membership minute today. And also to let you know that our prices are going up as of June 1st. So if you've been thinking about becoming a member, now is the time to get in before those prices go up on June the 1st. So we would love to have you as a member of our membership site. And as always, if you are already a member, you get to keep the price that you registered at for life. So those people who became members when we first started the membership site, how many years ago was that now? 2 years, almost 3 years ago now, they get to keep their ridiculously low price. Lucky people. And whatever price you came in at, you get to keep forever. So, get in while the getting's good. You get to keep your price, and it's a good thing for existing members. Okay. I'm going to get you to rest back on your backs to receive the teachings now, and we are going to move to the space where I can join in with you. So take a deep breath in. Let it fall out of your mouth. And if you have an eye pillow, you can go ahead and place it over your eyes now. And that can be the first way of practicing Pratyahara, withdrawal of your senses, so you can start to tone inwards to receive the teachings now. The practice of Pratyahara is an education in the proper use of our senses. It requires and cultivates discipline, discrimination, memory, and courage. So it does in fact require discipline to shift our attention from sense objects. For example, it takes discipline to shift our attention away from overindulging in a tasty meal or a treat if we know it's going to disturb our meditation or yoga practice later on, even if we know it's just going to disturb our digestive system and it's generally going to upset us or disturb us later on. This is an example. I'm sorry, I had to laugh because between our last shot and this shot, we had to stop and get a treat for Tim. We couldn't come right here and film. We had to go and get a little treat for Tim so he could make it through this filming. When Tim asked what this was about, I said it was about controlling his taste buds. Actually, he's only having a breakfast sandwich. It's not that bad. I've seen worse behind this camera. So this is an example of using our discipline to shift our attention away from our pleasure senses. It equally takes discipline to turn our attention away from the lawnmowers and weed whackers and leaf blowers during our yoga and meditation practice, and not allow the noise coming into our sense of hearing to disturb our practice time. So there are lots of ways that we can cultivate discipline throughout our day, throughout our yoga practice. And I really do think that Pratyahara is one of the most important keys. I get asked all the time about yoga and weight loss, but when you really get Pratyahara, you will have no issues with your weight anymore. I promise you that. So when you get control of that sense of taste and really enjoy taste for what it is and start to we have a really great video for this on our membership site around mindful eating, and start to tune into your senses beyond the sense of taste and start to observe other ways that you take in food in your body. It'll totally transform your relationship to food. So it also takes discrimination to assess the appropriate use of our senses. For example, when coming to our yoga and meditation space, it is appropriate to clear and use our sense of sight and smell to clear and declutter our space so that it is clean and pleasant for our practice. So it wouldn't be appropriate just to ignore that space and to leave it full of, if it needs a sweep, to just ignore that, because then you're going to get dust and dirt all over your feet and hands when you're lying on the ground. So it is appropriate then to take a moment to sweep and dust your space, to sage and light a stick of incense so that the space is clear and so that it has a pleasant odor too when you're going to be doing all that pranayama, all that breath practice. So this is a proper use and discrimination of your sense perception prior to beginning your practice. So it's about cultivating a discriminative and discerning practice of the use of your senses too as a yogi. It's awareness and mindfulness, right? It's also important to question our motives when we engage in sense objects that catch our senses' attention. For example, and this is back to eating, are we eating cake at tea time because we're hungry to nourish our bodies, or because we have a sugar addiction? So our sugar levels just crashing, and then we're trying to raise those sugar levels up? Or would a handful of nuts and a bowl of coconut yogurt be more health-giving rather than simply sensory pleasing experience to your taste buds? So these are really important questions to ask, and to really question our motives when we're engaging with our sense organs. Reverend Jagannath Carrera says that drawing upon our memory to examine the benefits and liabilities resulting from the use, abuse, and overuse of our senses, and the courage to temporarily give up indulging in a particular sense in order to serve the purpose of self-realization is part of being a yogi. So I'm going to give you an example from my personal life. A number of years ago now, I used to come home from teaching yoga late at night. So this was at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, I would come home. And I would watch TV as a way to unwind and as a way to connect with my husband, Tim. And upon reflection, I started to think about this practice. It wasn't actually a very good way to unwind before I went to sleep. In fact, a blue light coming into my space at night actually didn't do anything to help create melatonin in my brain to help me go to sleep. It hindered that, so it didn't actually help me unwind at all. Probably anything I was watching would just disturb my sleep in any way. And really, it wasn't a very good way of connecting in any kind of intimate way with my husband. So sight and sound was being stimulated at a time when my senses would have better turned inward, and there were actually much better ways to connect on an intimate level with my husband. So this was a not good practice, and it kept me up way too late. And so this is a way that we can again use mindfulness and awareness to assess what we're doing when we allow our sense organs to be stimulated. The example often given is that a yogi withdraws their senses in the same way that a tortoise pulls in their limbs. And this is a quote from the Bhagavad Gita. Just as a tortoise withdraws its limbs, so when a man or woman withdraws their senses from the sense object, their wisdom becomes steady. So it's really important to note here that it's not that you're suppressing your temptations and cravings, but rather that you're redirecting your attention to a more beneficial practice. So just like I used the example of you're not giving up your cake. What you're doing is saying, this cake isn't actually nourishing me. It's satisfying my taste buds. Oh yes, my taste buds are having a party, but once that party in my mouth is over, then are my cells being nourished? Is it nourishing my body? Not really. It's having the awareness to know that a handful of nuts or a green smoothie is going to enliven my cells on a much deeper level. So sense mastery is not a practice of deprivation. We're not saying, okay, I'm not going to nourish myself in any way. It's saying, rather, we're going to say, I'm going to find a gateway to greater joy, because I know that although this piece of chocolate cake is going to give me a party in my mouth, that party in my mouth actually is going to lead to a kind of it's going to lead to the hangover, right? In my body somewhere, headache, some kind of sugar crash in some way. But if I can give myself something else, then I'm going to be nourished, and my body is going to be invigorated in some way. So that's why I wanted to talk about this gateway to grace and joy by turning our senses inward. Withdrawing your senses might actually be understood as drawing your senses closer. In fact, feeling them more mindfully and with more awareness. Rather than distracting yourself through your senses, turn inwards and engage your senses with loving kindness and intimacy rather than through lack. Sri Swami Satchidananda says, "The happiness we can receive by mastery lasts longer than temporary joys. We should all become masters. That is true freedom and real victory. If you are free from your own mind and senses, nothing can bind you. Then you are really free." So take a deep breath in through your nose. Let it fall out of your mouth. And reflect back on these teachings now as they relate to you in your life. And ask yourself, what is it that you are trying to create in your life right now? And how can these teachings help you? And how can your practice today help you create that in your life? And then go ahead and form an intention for what it is you would like to receive from this practice today. So we're actually going to begin today with you continuing to rest back, and we're going to do a practice in Pratyahara practice. So you can stay lying on your back if you want to shift a little or do something to make yourself more comfortable. You can do that now. And take a deep breath in through your nose and let it fall out of your mouth. And if you have an eye pillow over your eyes, gently take it off your eyes, or if you don't, just open your eyes to a soft gaze. What do you see around you? Allow yourself to take in your peripheral vision. Let the sights come to you. And then gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And let it fall out of your mouth. What is the memory of what you just saw? How is that different from when you had your eyes open? Just notice how your experience is different now that your eyes are closed. Now allow your experience to open to the sounds in the room. Let the sounds come to you. And let that experience become even broader now, and allow yourself to open to the sounds outside of the room. draw the sounds closer to you rather than shutting them out. Take a deep breath in through your nose and let it fall out of your mouth. Now become aware of your mouth. What tastes are present in your mouth? What is the texture of your mouth? Allow your tongue to move around your mouth and experience the moisture or lack of moisture in your mouth. Take a deep breath in. Let it fall out of your mouth. Now feel your body against the ground. Become aware of all the points that your body touches the ground. Become aware of the heaviness of your body as it sinks into the ground. Feel your clothes as they touch your skin. And feel the temperature of your hands and your feet. Take a deep breath in through your nose and let it fall out of your mouth. Become aware of the smells around you. What smells are present in the space in which you are practicing? Allow your breath to deepen, to take in the sense in your space. Take a deep breath in and let it fall out of your mouth. And let's bring this awareness of our senses with us into our practice today. A full sense of joy and grace in embracing our senses and our sense perception in a loving and kind way as we practice today. So you can start to wiggle and stretch out, bringing your intention with you as you begin to move. You're going to begin on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Just take your feet probably as wide as your mat. We're just going to warm up your hip joints and sway your knees from side to side for windshield wiper legs. Feeling how the back of your pelvis connects to the ground as you do this, and moving with breath. And then come back to the center, and you can cross your right ankle over the top of your left thigh. Open your right knee out to the side. Draw your left knee in towards your chest. Reach through the keyhole here. Hold on behind your left knee. Drop your shoulders down. Use your elbow to open your right knee out to the side. And you're going to draw your leg in and just until you feel sensation on the outside of your right leg. Finding that just right spot for you today. Again, just noticing what's happening on the back of your pelvis, the connection between the back of your pelvis and the ground. Noticing what sounds are around you. And then go ahead and release this side, uncross your right leg. And then go ahead and cross your left leg over your right leg. Left ankle over the top of your right thigh. Open your left knee out to the side and draw your right leg in. Reach your left arm through the keyhole. You're going to hold on behind your right leg. Use your left elbow to open your left knee out to the side. Drop your shoulders down. Jaw relaxed. And start this pose with your eyes open and notice what it's like to take in the sights around you. And then close your eyes and notice how your experience of the pose changes or doesn't change when you close that gateway to that sense perception. And then you can release this leg down, and you can either take your hands behind your knees and tuck your chin and round your spine to rock yourself up, or you can have your knees bent, roll to your side to come up. Okay, from here we're going to be going between a squat, between garland pose and standing forward fold. So between Malasana to Uttanasana. Okay. So it may be helpful to have your blanket here And I'm going to show some options too for this, because depending on your knees, you might not be able to do full flexion in this one. So let me show the full version and then I'll show an option. So for me, always fill the space. For me, I need to fill the space between my heels and the ground. So we're going to be here to begin in a squat, malasana, or garland pose. And we're going to stay here. And then we're going to come up into, and then you'll just step off your mat into Uttanasana. Okay, and you can have a deep knee bend if you're tight through your hamstrings like me. You may be able to straighten out your legs if you're not me. Okay, so if you have problems with your knees, then you could do your squat here and then come here into standing forward fold. Okay, so choose the squat that works for you. I'm going to come into Malasana here. We're going to hold here. And I will open up your hips and your low back, and from here you're just going to step off your mat and drop your heels to the ground and come into Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Let the back of your neck be long. And then come on back down. And you're going to sit in a comfortable seated position, cross-legged if you can. One leg folded in front of the other. And if this doesn't work for you, you can come into a kneeling position. We're going to do some spinal warm-ups. So you can do exactly what we're going to do from kneeling. I'll show you from this position first, and then I'll show you the option to do it from kneeling. So we're going to circle here. You're going to move from your navel. So you're circling, sometimes we call this scrape the peanut butter jar. So you're going to circle like that. And you could also do this from all fours. And imagine you're scraping the peanut butter jar there. So if that didn't work for you from seated, okay, you can do it from cat pose. Your choice, whatever works best for you in your body today. So let's go like this. You're going to inhale forward, exhale back. And here, just pay attention to the way that your fingers feel on your knees. Now you're going to go the other way. And this time, you're going to pay attention to the way that your breath feels at your nostrils. And come back to center. Take a deep breath in. And let it fall out of your mouth. Okay. Now you're going to take your fingertips and place them at the front of your shoulders and your thumbs at the back. Broaden across your collarbones, reach your elbows wide, and you're going to inhale to your left and exhale to your right. And if this isn't comfortable to do in a seated position, you can do it standing with your feet a little bit wider than your hips, okay? So inhale left, exhale right, inhale left, exhale right. And when you do this one, you're going to pay attention to how your clothes feel on your spine. So inhale left, exhale right. Let your breath be quite vigorous here. And as you breathe out, draw your navel to your spine. Inhale, center. And exhale. Bring your hands down. Take a deep breath in. Let it fall out of your mouth. And let your eyes open to a soft gaze to take in the sights around you. Okay, so now we're going to be doing a meditation for focus and sweetness, because a lot of drawing your senses inwards, Pratyahara, is about appreciating the sweetness of your senses and finding joy and grace in your senses. So if you want to take your blanket so that you have a little elevation for your hips so that your knees can drop down, that would be good for here. Or you can come and sit in a chair for this. And for this meditation, what you do is you take your fingers on your right hand and you find your pulse on your left hand. And once you find a strong pulse on your left hand, you place all the fingers in a straight line, pressing lightly so that you can feel the pulse in your fingertips. And with each beat of your pulse, you're going to mentally hear Sat Nam. So you'll close your eyes and you're going to focus on your third eye point up here. So you're going to draw your gaze upwards. And we're just going to meditate like this for 3 minutes. And this will help to cultivate focus tempered by sweetness. So that's what we want to do here in this practice. That could be our starting bell. That sound in our... Can you hear that? Yeah. Are you timing us, Tim? Okay, great. So gradually allow your breath to deepen. Allow yourself to start to take in the sounds of the room again. Let your eyes open to a soft gaze to take in the sights of the room. Okay, so from here we're going to come up to standing. Okay, from standing, we're going to do breath of joy so that we can embrace the joy of drawing our senses inward and experience the gateways to the senses. So, breath of joy works like this. You start by inhaling a little bit here, inhaling a little bit more here, inhaling all the way, taking your arms overhead. And then you exhale, you do a deep knee bend and you fold forward. Okay, so if you have issues with low blood pressure, this down and back up could make you really dizzy. So it might be better for you to just do the breath here and let go here without doing all the down and up. Okay, so pay attention to your own body and honor your own body. Okay, so it's essentially 3-part breath. Inhale, arms in front. Inhale, arms out to the side. Inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, fold forward. Okay, that last one, let yourself stay down for a second. Take a moment to ground yourself by placing your hands on the ground. And then you're going to slowly make your way up to standing so you don't get dizzy. Okay, then I thought we would play around with tree pose, Vrikshasana, so that we could see what it would be like to withdraw some of our senses. So stand on your right leg and turn your left leg out to the side. And we'll start with just doing tree pose. Either take your foot above or below your leg and bring your hands to your heart center. Focus on something that's not moving and take your arms overhead. Okay, so now I was going to say let's try withdrawing your sense of sight, but that's the hardest one to pull away. So let's try pulling away your sense of hearing. So just close off your earlobes. Your sense of smell. Nothing is really going to happen that, but okay, and then now your sense of sight. That one's really hard. So your sense of sight is really big for balance. Okay, now we'll do the other side. So I mirrored you, so you're on your right leg, now you're on your left leg. You're going to turn your right leg out to the side, pick it up, place it above or below your knee, and then bring your hands at your heart center. And you can either leave them here or you can take them overhead. So again, we'll play around with eliminating the gateways to the senses. So you can try eliminating your sense of hearing. Your sense of smell. Breathe through your mouth. And then your sense of sight. Okay, Great. You're going to come down onto your mat for cow's face pose, Gomukhasana. Okay, from here we're going to do cow's face pose. So you're just going to take your left leg on top of your right leg. So I'll mirror you, left leg on top of your right leg. And here, if your left butt cheek is lifted off the ground, or your right one for that matter, it's probably your left one, you're going to fill the space either with your blanket or your block. We're going to do Parivrit Gomukhasana. So you can twist in this pose, doesn't matter which way, we'll twist both sides. And here, just close your eyes and allow yourself to become aware of the sounds in your space. Inhale, center. Keeping your gaze inward with your eyes closed. Exhale, twist to the other side. And again, allowing your ears to be open to the sounds in your space. Inhale, back center. And exhale. Allow your eyes to open to a soft gaze. And keep that internal focus as you switch your legs so that your right leg is on top. And again, fill the space as you need to underneath your right buttocks, either with the blanket or a block. And then inhale, center. Close your eyes. Exhale, twist to one side, doesn't matter which side. And this time, become aware of the sense of touch, the sense of your feet connecting with the ground, your fingertips touching the ground. Inhale, back center. Exhale, twist to the other side. Notice what your fingertips feel like touching the ground on this side. Inhale, back center. And then you're going to open your eyes to a soft gaze. Release your legs. You may want to shake them out a little bit. And you might want a prop to sit up on, like a folded blanket here. Bring the soles of your feet together. We're going to do Tortoise Pose, Kurmasana. And this is, the metaphor symbolic of drawing your senses inwards, that intimate connection with your senses, the gateway to grace and joy in our yoga practice. You're going to reach your hands underneath you, hold on to the outside edge of your feet and fold forward. If you have a bolster here, it works really well if you place your bolster vertically, then you can really rest forward here. Let your spine be soft and round. Let your spine drape forward here. Allow yourself to be aware of your breath touching your nostrils here. And then slowly up. And we're going to do Sanmukhi Mudra here. And this is like the classic Pratyahara practice. It's healthy face mudra. You take your index fingers on your eyebrows, your middle fingers on your eyelids, your ring fingers on the corners of your nostrils, your little fingers on the corners of your mouth. And then your thumbs on your ear flaps. And basically what you're doing is you're closing all the gateways to your senses. So we're going to hold that for 30 breaths. And this practice isn't advised for people who experience depression. So you can go back, if you suffer from depression, go back and do breath of joy while we do this. Too much shutting down here. But shutting out external distractions allows you to connect more with your inner self. So index finger, eyebrows, middle finger, eyelids, ring finger, nostrils, pinkies, corners of your mouth, thumbs, close the flaps to your ears. Here we go, 30 breaths. And then slowly and gently release. When you feel ready, you're going to gently open your eyes to a soft gaze. Okay. We are going to do Happy Baby Pose, Ananda Balasana, and then you're going to do Shavasana. So lie on your back. Take your legs straight in the air. Hold on to the outside edges of your feet. Draw your knees down towards your armpits. Hold here. So this is so that we can experience the joy of being intimate with our senses, drawing them inwards. And then you can gently release your legs down for Shavasana. And for Shavasana, if you have an eye pillow, you're going to take your eye pillow and close that gateway to the sense of sight today. So I have a quote for you today in Shavasana, and it's our shareable quote for episode 228. It's from the Hatha Upanishad, and it says, "One path leads outward and the other inward. You can walk the way outward leads to pleasure, or the way inward leads to grace." So one path leads outward and the other inward. You can walk the way outward, which leads to pleasure, or the way inward, which leads to grace. And that's from the Hatha Upanishad. So rest back for as long as you can in Shavasana. And when you're ready, you're going to begin to allow your breath to deepen. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Allow your breath to deepen and roll to your right side. Slowly make your way up to seated. I'm sending you much love from beautiful British Columbia. May you experience the strength of our mountains. May you be as rooted as the trees in our forests. And may your joy be as deep as our Pacific Ocean. Namaste. Om Shanti.
Melissa would love to hear your questions and thoughts. Please leave your comments below the video. Thank you for your reviews on iTunes and YouTube. Your reviews help us to share yoga and a yoga lifestyle with others around the world. If you have a question for Melissa, you can leave a voice message at melissawest.com, and Melissa may answer it in an upcoming blog.